Hi there, I've just came back from the Isle of Mull and the Peninsula of Ardnamurchan, doing a bikepacking trip over 4 days, 220 miles, and what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've been washing and cleaning out my kit, so I thought it's probably a good idea now to kind of run through it. I've got the big Agnes single man tent. Can't quite remember the model, I'll pop that up on the screen. Then I've got the sleep system, and I've used a SpIII Summit. So I've got the SpIII Summit Etherlight blow-up mattress, which comes with a bag, which is really handy, which helps you inflate it. And I've also got the ultralight SpIII Summit sleeping bag. It's comfortable to 11 degrees, 7 at the lowest. I find it a wee bit too cold when it goes about 10, 9, 8 degrees. But I also bring a Rab lightweight down jacket, so if I get really cold I just throw that on. I just prefer to have the lighter weight, and also I've got the inner there for the inner blanket as well for the sleeping bag. Adds an extra layer of warmth and it's just a wee bit more hygienic. So what I'm going to do is going to go and assemble the tent and the sleep system. I won't bother with the ground sheet, that's optional, and just show you how quick and easy it is. Hopefully you'll find this video interesting. First one I've done, so who knows how it'll go. Basically I've got the big Agnes Firewall single man tent, lightweight. I went for this one because it was the lightest I could find in its class at the right price. So it's a Tigerwool UL1. Dead easy to assemble. Obviously I'm on artificial grass, so I won't be pegging this, which might make it a wee bit tricky. Got the pegs, got the frame. That's your inner skin, and lastly pegs, which we won't be using this time, and the bag and the actual skin itself. So the way I'm just going to do this the way I would start it, which I do have a ground sheet, which I'm not going to use, but basically the ground sheet would go down, and then on top of the ground sheet I would throw this together as well. So you've got two corners at the front, so basically in a triangle shape as you'd expect, wider at the top, and more narrow at the bottom. At the top you've got your two silver tags which the frame connects to, and at the back you've got the yellow gold tag which the frame connects to. I tend to have it pegged at this point, and then I throw the frame on top of it. You can see the yellow one at the back here. It'll pretty much all click into place. Probably won't today though. Best tip I can give for this in terms of starting is I tend to start from the silver end. It just means you can get two of them in very quickly. So there's a wee hole to pop them through on the tag. Second one, ignore the middle ones at the moment. And then we're in to the yellow one at the back. Ground sheet would be underneath, the exact same. And just tap that in. Yeah. At this point I tend to peg both of these out at the same time, just to give it the maximum space at the back. Fairly self-explanatory. And you just come up the frame. I'm going to do that 10 times, aren't I? I'm going to keep dropping that. Wow, more fingers and thumbs today, look. That's dead easy actually. So we're bringing it in. Obviously when there's no wind it helps. You then get a cross section, snap into place, which is then held frame Try these two. And similarly, your skin has got a couple of tags for that as well. That would be you. That would be zipped up normally. But as I've been airing it, next, big Agnes sign goes to the front. So what I tend to do is get my tags, 2 tags, and just come over the top. You then snap these into the connectors. Silver to silver, or grey to grey. I'm just going to repeat myself. Just line these up as well at this point. The wee tags here. Look that over. There's a couple of Velcro ones at the front of the frame bars as well, which you can use. Sometimes if it's windy I do. Most of the time I've never really used them. Actually, the first time I used the tent, get caught in a storm after pitching up at the beach. And we survived. So really sturdy tent. It was fine Scottish weather. So then finally back down to the back, and then clip that in. You then use your guy lines to peg this out at the back. Then out here, and you can add them into the rest as well. So there's about 8 or 9 pegs that we use, and that's your tent pretty much up and complete. Very quick. I'm worried that'll blow away with like least wee breeze. So let's zip that up. Some nice pockets and features in there for your stuff, your phone and your torch up the top. Won't show you them. I'm pretty sure you've seen inside a tent before. The next thing I tend to do is take my sleep mat out. So this is a SpIII Summit Airstream pump sack, and it's the ether light. Again, as I'm carrying it on a bike, I went a wee bit extra, a bit extra expense. Now, depending on the evening, sometimes I just set it out as a wee mat. Before it's early, I just set it as a wee mat and use it. It comes with this ether light air pump sack. If you're not familiar with it, really straightforward to use. It's about half a dozen blows and it pumps it up. We might show you this and speed it up, or you can fast forward whilst I do it and count how many it goes by. So basically you've got a male part of the plug. So it's in full deflate at the moment, so it's fully open. I'm sure if you can see. So you push that in and then take the top one off. Plug that in. And the idea is catch some wind, or if there's no wind, just blow it up. Puff of air. Roll it up. And that air goes into the mat. So I will check the technical descriptions of each of these and add on the weights of each. But I have went light on each of the items because Scotland's quite hilly and windy, and just like the trip on Mull, whilst it was beautiful and sunshine. Of course, when I go up one of the passes, that's when it decides the wind to pick up and squeeze through two of the hills. So every gram counts. Doesn't look like it's going up, but it actually is, and then before you know it, it's done. I found this really comfortable. It can be quite noisy moving about on it, but they all are. Before I invested in any kit, I went and cycled the NC500, and I borrowed some stuff from my friend who was a hiker, so his stuff was quite heavy. But again, the mat, as soon as you move about on it, a bit of noise. So whilst there's obviously cheaper mats than this, which you can get, as I know this is something I want to do, I've decided to invest into the right kit, the kit that I think addresses both comfort and weight, as well as size, to get onto the bike. Because once I get all of this done, stacked away, it's about 6, isn't it? Like, bang, done. That would pop out if I did another one. So that's fully inflated. And you just close it off. That's you done. Store your bag. Next is the sleep system I'm using. Again, I went for lightweight SpIII Summit Spark 7C 45 down. So basically what that's telling us is it's comfortable at 11 degrees Celsius. If it goes to 7, it's its minimum temperature. I did that as a go, take it out, and I was down to about 0, so I really felt the cold. Fortunately, I had a down jacket, but it wasn't a pleasant night. And what was supposed to be a 3-night trip turned into a 1-night trip because I got no sleep. It was really cold. So check the temperature on this because it is very light. But again, if you're looking for lightweight, it's ideal. I'm not going to unfold this because you can go and see plenty examples of this open, especially in the SpIII Summit site. And we've also got the inner liner as well. So the inner liner gives apparently a 12% thermal boost. I like to have this not just for the heat, but basically for washing. It's easy to chuck this in the wash, whilst everything else is getting a good burst of fresh air. I've also got the pillow, and there's a pillow lock system which does work. You put that on there, get your head on it, and it kind of seems to keep it in place. So what I'll do is, rather than me taking the sleeping bag out in the liner, as I'm sure you're familiar with them, I'll give you the technical details of each of these on the description in the video. I've also got a pillow, the pillow as well. And the other thing I haven't done is the ground sheet, but that's optional. We don't need the ground sheet if you don't want to. But I think it's about 350 grams, adds a wee bit extra layer protection. So let's start taking it back down again. So this time I'm going to completely unplug the mattress. Sometimes I actually leave this to last when I disassemble everything. That just gives me some places to sit everything before I put the actual mat away. If you want to do that, it's quite good. If you want to try to keep some stuff dry or whatever, just lay it out, get some weight on it, make sure it doesn't blow away, and then you can put that away last. Top tip. I've kind of stuck to the folds in this, but there's not really any real need to do that, as my friend tells me. He likes to get moved in a hurry. Right, so start for the end where the plug isn't in, obviously, and then I just start rolling it up. Keep taking out the folds as I go. It starts to crease up. Probably a good idea. Well, I'll probably do this every single time, just to unfold the bag properly to take it. Quickly wrapped up. Stuck it under my arm just to show that this is a skill that I have learned. So you pull the pump part back in, pull the toggle tight, then I'll go back down into it, squish it down to the bottom. Get the bag in. We're in my garden. A lovely day in May 2025. You might hear some noises around about, the neighbours or cars. And that's that done. So let's take the tent back down. I always go the opposite way, start with the yellows. Take it up, unhook the toggles. It would obviously be giving us a big shake if it was wet, possibly even hang it out to dry as well. So there's two clips here, one to, well, done. Once it's been dried off, I really don't mess about, to be honest. Just roll it up as quick as I can. Would all have been zip closed as well to make it easier, less width. So I tend to just go a bit just slightly longer. My two hands, start rolling. Try and get it as tight as I can without over sweating it. I've actually been known to fold it over as well if I think I'm too heavy at one side. They're probably purists screaming at how I'm doing this, but ultimately works for me. Got that in. Next I just start unclipping, usually from one end, so for some reason in this I'm doing it from the middle, obviously. Obviously a bit windier, I would just be dropping these at this point. to get the tent away. But as it's nice, no wind in my garden, I make this more difficult than it is. I always like to try and line the centre of the cross section as well as I can. Just it helps when I'm packing away onto the bike bag itself. Bottom end, fold it up. And I'll run away. I've obviously put this away a few times now. Sometimes I get it great, sometimes not so great. As long as it goes in this bag, it's the main thing. Because I've got the other stuff, because I have the other items, I have to put this bit in first because it's longer than the silver bit. I've not tightened this at all. I normally have it a bit tighter than this to get both into the bag okay. But I'm showing you real life. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. So once you've got it in, the good news is everything else goes in play. Poles, pegs, pillar. I chuck the pillar in here as well. Job done. Almost. Right, next what I'll do is I'll get the actual front bag I use to carry my sleep system in the bike. We'll put that in, we'll get everything in the bag tucked away. Right, obviously what I've done here is just got a small table out. This is the dry bag that goes into the Restrap front bag, bar bag I should say, and I stack everything in there. I've done it a few times now, so I actually know the kind of best way. So I just line up where the poles are in the bag, and I tend to want them just slightly pointing out to the front. So I'll slide that in to here. I'll then fill the rest, squeeze the rest in. So I tend to start off with the sleeping bag as the biggest item. Checking it's almost the same. Actually then go in with the liner on the front. This would really be the top of the bars at this side. So I've got a kind of nice flat base. This is going to be at the bottom, this will be at the top. It's almost identical. Just give that a little push along. Then I've got my bottom sheet or crown sheet. Just push that in on top. And then basically it's almost like building a triangle. So this is going to go right in the very top. When it's on the bike, it'll be that shaped. Now, I don't know whether it's because I'm really testing this bag with how much I've got in it, but obviously it's a bit of a squeeze. I think this is 12 litre. I think it's a 12 litre bag. Is it as much as that? Maybe 9 litres. A 9 litre front bag. So the idea then is, you can see really that's the front of my bike because of the puncture, and the sealant blew up to the front. Now this isn't quite halfway, you can see there's more that side, so I'm just going to squeeze that in a wee bit more. That's good enough. So the shape's almost like a triangle that way. It's going to be the top, frame at the bottom, and then this sticky out bit is the sack, is the mat. The idea is now you just roll these over, click them into place. Now, you maybe want to check the Restrap website for a video, or our YouTube channel for a video on this. I just have to show you what I'm been doing and how it works with this system that I've got inside. So again, rolling it over and clipping here. Now ideally, oh, press that. Now ideally, that would be it. That's because of this. It's because of the strap I've got on. So that should really be it, right? That should just be you attaches onto the bike. The good thing about this Restrap bag is you can take this off and on the bike, and you're not always trying to reattach everything on. I did have before on my first bikepacking trip, I had a completely different kit. The frame bag burst and the bar bag was too cumbersome getting on and off and on in the morning and taking off at night. So I basically got it refunded. It's a major manufacturer that a lot of the influencers will use. I'm not going to mention them because I'm sure other people love it, but I didn't. So Restrap's British made, it's good stuff. The only problem I tend to have is, and I think it's maybe because I'm testing the bag, is that this is too loose for me. Unless I'm doing it wrong, it's just too loose. So the system, we had these off the Amazon, which are basically just elastics with a toggle at the end. And I stick one in either end. Poor Restrap guys are probably going, oh, what is he doing? But honestly, this worked for me. So then just double back and through. There's cord and everything that you can use. Anything. I just find that this just pulls it in a wee bit better, and that's not the best job. I've done it way better than that before, but that just keeps it a wee bit more trim. And what we'll do is we'll get this onto the bag, onto the bike that way. I'll show you that. Okay, so for the kit, there's really two extra bags. So I've got a frame bag. Now I did have a full frame bag before, and I used the ladder bag for water. Again, didn't like it, so sent that back after my first trip. Went for the smaller frame bag. I went with Restrap this time. I've also got a top tube bag on the bike as well, which is great for just a couple of things. This one here, I just find Restrap's good quality. It's basically, I think it's a 3 litre bag. So you've got a deeper pocket on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side, basically a wee bit more shallow. Inside there, I've got, at this moment, I've got a chest strap that I never used, heart rate strap that I never used. I have some cable ties, tend to keep tickets, cash, cards, anything in there, because that's anything I can just need to slide in is in that side. And then a mixture of the kit that I'm going to show you tends to go in here, and we can use that space really well underneath the top bar. This bag here clips onto the front of the bar bag mount. The front bar handlebar mount. So usual suspects. I've got a Garmin, pair of sunglasses. For this trip I had smidge. I've also got a midgie net. I've got a cap in there, a few coffees that was gifted. I think this is a 2 litre bag or something like this. It's handy, it just sits in the front. What I like to do as well, if you're going locking the bike up, you just pop everything of value in that. This comes off. You can carry that, so it's really handy. You can see it's all dusty because I went over the gravel as well when I was out. So let me walk you through some of the stuff before we go through the bags. But all of this was mounted onto the bike. So I tend to keep electricals and toiletries separate in 2 wee bags. So I've got some electrical cables here. I actually had too many. Again, lesson I'll be learning to take less this time. And then my toiletries is going to this one here now. I've emptied most of that out. I then also have this stove, added on another 200ml cup. So this is an MSR gas stove. Now inside that, so I used all the gas. This is a new one, so pop that in there. Then it helps you take it off when it's hot. You've got another container, 1 litre container, should you need it. But you can, obviously if you're doing soup, you can just take it off, let it cool down, and then drink from it. Basically that attaches to your gas. That is also MSR jet boiler, something like this. But it's a mini one. Lighter, popped in. Put the lid on, and I've managed to find a technique to get this in. It'd be nicer if the sleeve is a wee bit longer to make it easier, but it's literally to there. And I just have managed to find a way to get that just under the lip and pull the toggle to keep it tight and then on one. Now I tend to store this in the saddle bag, the rear saddle bag. If there's no any room, it can also sit on top in that cross bit if you want. I used to do that the first time, but I've managed to get that in each and every time. Obviously I had my gloves, not interested in them. The PS pencil torch, I never used that. Another lesson learned, too much daylight at this time in Scotland, so don't really need that. But normally take that head torch with me. This was a new buy for me, which was the MSR filter, mini filter. I did use this. Actually, I know in Scotland especially you can just take the water from the side of the hill. Maybe if you've done your Duke of Edinburgh, you're comfortable with that. Sorry, I like running it through that. I have a spork. Yeah, I had chargers, shocks, bone conduction headphones, spare pair of cleats because I got stuck with that before, bit of lip balm, extra lead. So all of that really kind of goes in there, and I'll get that into the frame bag. Most of it is in the frame bag, either in the bag here, put it in the electrical bags, and then I just pack them in. It tucks away into that space nice and tidily. I won't put it all in, but I'll show you the bags going on, the bags on the bike. And lastly, I've started using this SpIII technology camera system. So a front camera and a rear camera. I've only started using these, so I'm not going to review them just yet. I'll wait till I see how they perform. The good thing is about the kit that I'm showing you, it's been on plenty of trips, so it's better to see it after it's been used rather than just somebody getting it from a bag and telling you how good it is. So that's the kit. Let's get the bike out, let's get the bags on, and I'll walk you through that. Okay, right, as you can see I've started getting the front bag on, sorry, the frame bag on. I would suggest that you put tape on, protect the frame. I did actually jump away at the last minute to Mull and didn't do that, which I know will regret, because obviously moving around naturally causes some friction and I'll rub the paint. So you then just pull these, get everything into place. There's clips around the other side as well, just to hold that in place so it's not swinging around in the wind. There's a wee band there. Right, so basically you tighten all of that up. So I've got the Restrap top bag, the Restrap frame bag. All my items that I showed you go into these two bags. There's always plenty of space here. I've got glasses, sunglasses, use it for different bits and pieces. Okay, and I suppose the key thing now is really to show you the saddlebag going on. Now, normally I would have this actually on the bag, on the bike. At this point, I've just found it easier to have it on and then put the dry bag in. And around the seat post. I actually used this a lot when I was working to carry my clothes that was changing into. Now I'm a man of leisure. It's bikepacking only. Or maybe the shopping. The idea is I like to try and get this as high as I can. It sits up the way rather than out. And then let me go and get the front. Right, now we get the part that attaches to the bike so that you can put the dry bag on and off. Spider in my hand. Perfect timing. Just make sure you don't go over any you go under any cables you might have. I've got a cable to avoid. This bike's got wireless here, so just a one cable. That goes on there. Make sure it's even. You pull that as tight as you want. I put tape underneath it as well to protect your frame. Very much the same here. You can go under across the way. Again, probably best to check Restrap's website rather than what I've done, but this is what works for me. Okay. I don't think I've actually put that on right. Nope. Good job, there's a wee table here. That's it. Again, I've probably not done this justice, but it's a lot easier than it looks. And then basically you take your dry bag, and as I explained, I found a wee method and it's madness, so I like to keep the poles out here. Slide that in. So loosen this off first. Hold it in place. Real tight. Obviously you want to get a lot of clearance with this being a medium frame. It's really important to keep this tight and off the tyre. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but I just tuck them in the side out of the way. There's wee velcro parts which I think can help wrap that in should you need it to be held even tighter. And lastly, this is really cool, it's magnetic, it clips on, That gives you nice access to whatever you want. Your top tube part and that actually ends up a wee bit untidy as a consequence of the fact that you can go in and out it so easily. So that still leaves me room for my quad lock, for my phone. I've got a Garmin mount, and then the SpIII camera goes on there as well. But it's my bike packing setup that I did for the Isle of Mull. I'm going to be posting the links to show you how I got on there. Using some of the film I got for the SpIII front camera. I didn't bring the rear camera this time. And I hope you have a wee look and maybe enjoy the trip. Any questions, pop them in the comments below. I understand this was rough and ready, but like I said, it's not as if you're going to be going through it like a well-rehearsed film studio, so it's nice to see what you're up against, what you need to do to get the kit on. Topeak rear bag, the rest of it's all rear strap, and a few bits and pieces of kit. These bags I just slide in here, and as I said, the tickets and everything go in there. Hope you enjoyed the videos, and if there's anything else you want me to dive into, please let me know. Appreciate any comments you've got and feedback.